South Carolina will look very different next season. Half of the roster is leaving, and not just the numbers. The Gamecocks lost several players who has been at the core of the most successful period in the program's history. Aaliyah Boston, Zia Cook, and Brea Beal have all started since their first game and rank among the most successful and prolific players in program history. Carolina had 5 players selected in the 2023 WNBA draft: forward Aaliyah Boston, forward Letitia Amy Here, guard Zia Cook, guard Brea Beal, and forward Victoria Saxton. Guard Kiera Fletcher also exhausted her eligibility, while guard Olivia Thompson declined to use her 5th COVID year. South Carolina will now return 6 players from last year's roster, notably guard Raven Johnson, center Camila Cardoso, and wing Bree Hall, and bring in 5 new players. The high school recruited Emilasia Fulwiley, Tessa Johnson, and Sanya Ja, and transfer recruits Tihaina Paupau, Oregon, and Sakima Walker, Northwest Florida State College, enrolled at USC earlier this month. After a historic 2022-23 season, South Carolina women's basketball will make even more history in the 2023-24 season opener. The Gamecocks will face Notre Dame in Paris on November 6 for the first NCAA regular season basketball game on Parisian soil. South Carolina and Notre Dame both finished the 2022-23 regular season with top 10 rankings in the USA Today Coaches and Associated Press poll. In the NCAA tournament, the Gamecocks reached their 3rd straight Final Four before falling to Iowa. The Fighting Irish reached the Sweet 16, where they lost to Maryland. After a disappointing end to a stellar season for Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks this past winter, the national champions from the past 2 seasons will now look to cement themselves as the top program in all of women's college basketball. If the Gamecocks are going to reach this, they have to navigate in Southeastern Conference that has become much more difficult to topple over the last few seasons. Even though they have to play every Southeastern Conference team at least once in conference play, the location of this game and the South Carolina team has to play twice can be a significant factor in how closely they compete for the conference title at the end of the regular season. Last Wednesday, the Southeastern Conference released the full conference list that every member of the league should play in this next season, and for the Gamecocks, there's a lot of takeaway to do with their schedule. As for the main takeaway, South Carolina will be hosting a lot of the toughest competition on their home floor this next season. The Ole Miss Rebels, Mississippi State Bulldogs, Georgia Bulldogs, Alabama Crimson Tide, and the Tennessee Volunteers, all of which were NCAA tournament teams last season, must travel to Columbia, South Carolina, with the Volunteers being the only program the Gamecocks will carry out for the round trip. This could be critical for a team that will be fielding an entirely different starting lineup compared to what they had in last season's Final Four. In terms of the Southeastern Conference teams that South Carolina will conduct home and home with this next season, there are 3 teams that will play the Gamecocks twice: the Tennessee Lady Vols, Kentucky Wildcats, and Missouri Tigers. Excluding the Lady Vols, this group's combined record last season was 30-33 overall and 8-24 in conference play. South Carolina's toughest Southeastern Conference game for next season, without a doubt, will be in Baton Rouge against the LSU Tigers, the team that won the national championship last season and somehow has more talent now with the addition of off-season transfers from Haley Van Lith and Anissa Morrow. Overall, however, South Carolina should like the draw they got from the Southeastern Conference front office and have a clear course for a 3rd straight regular season title.
For me, it's about relationships, building relationships with the coaches and the players, where I feel like I'm going to be loved on and off the court. And I want to win, so I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to win and play.
It's very unreal. Like sometimes, like I wake up and then I like walk into the facility. I was like, dang, like I'm actually here. Like all these years after, all these years later, I'm finally here. Everything is like finally in motion. So I'm just excited every day. I'm just excited, ready to get things started.
I forgot that was my number.
Here's a look, huh?